On that fateful night, it was very dark and cold. Rain hammered the village like a drum of judgment. The river swirled, muddy water rushing past the homes. Amina stumbled along the path to her own house, feet caked in mud, dress torn, heart pounding in her chest. "Coffee," she cried, desperation trembling in her voice. But the answer that came back was not love. It was anger, cold, sharp, and unyielding. "Enough, Amina. I cannot live with this curse anymore." The door slammed, leaving her in the storm, shivering, soaked, and humiliated. Neighbors couldn't do anything but whisper behind the curtains, "She is cursed. Her marriage is over." Amina fell to her knees, tears mixing with the rain, asking silently, "Lord, why? Why this suffering?" What no one knew, not even her husband Kofi, was that this was no ordinary misfortune. Now, this is what happened to Amina. Once upon a time in Okome village was a girl named Amina. Amina had always been a woman of kindness. She gave to the poor, nursed the sick, and shared her possession with those in need. Her generosity earned her the admiration of many. Yet when it came to love, misfortunes seemed to follow her. Oba, her first suitor, proposed with all sincerity, but a week after meeting her family, he vanished. No note, no explanation. Some said his family moved suddenly. Others whispered curses. Toye, her second suitor, promised her marriage, but suddenly fell gravely ill and left her broken and afraid. Noel, a very rich, handsome, and tall man, also fell for Amina. He deeply loved this girl. But nights before their planned wedding, he had terrifying dreams of a dark figure standing over Amina, whispering warnings. He fled the village terrified. Each heartbreak for Amina left her questioning God, herself, and the world. Through all of this, Amina's best friend Zola was always there, comforting, smiling, and always being there for Amina. She would always whisper, "Your time will come, don't lose hope." At the village market one bright Sunday, Amina met Kofi, a kind and hardworking teacher. She admired her humility, her quiet patience, her unwavering faith. Over weeks they spoke, often about life, dreams, and God's purpose. Soon whispers of their union spread. Knowing what Amina had been through when it came to matters of love, many pitied her and many also whispered, "This man is going to leave her just as the others did." But Kofi stayed with Amina through every thick and thin. He was always there and would always comfort her when rumors came hitting hard. After knowing Amina for 6 months, Kofi was more than certain that this was the woman he was ready to spend the rest of his life with. Yes, the wedding was planned and everything went smoothly. Amina's dream finally came true. She dreamed so many times, walking down the aisle, and finally that moment was here. Amina cried, not tears of regret, not tears of disappointment, but tears of joy. God had finally blessed her with the man of her dream. Kofi loved her unconditionally. Through this happy occasion, Amina's best friend Zola was by her side. Zola stood proudly beside Amina, her friend, as a maid of honor. Yes, Zola was so happy and congratulated Amina so many times. Amina's wedding was the talk of the town. Yes, people came from far and near to witness this wonderful union of the girl who had been disappointed so many times, but yet God saw her through. Amina shed tears every now and then all through her wedding. She said God had finally seen her. Yes, Amina's wedding was a success. Little did she know that this was the beginning of her worst nightmare. After the wedding, life was peaceful. Everything went smoothly. Sunshine warmed their home. Birds sang. Children ran past their yards laughing. But soon after, 2 months after their wedding, misfortune crept in. Her husband's small school supply business mysteriously went down. Others vanished. Goods went missing. Payments disappeared. Slowly, things went south. Amina couldn't explain how food got spoiled in her house. Windows rattled at night with no wind. Objects moved. Amina's womb remained silent. 2 pregnancies ended in pain and loss. The villagers whispered. Mama Lila muttered, "It is her curse. No man stays happy with her. No child grows in her womb." Soon after, every family member questioned her. Uncle Biko and Aunt Amma worried aloud. Why, Kofi's cousin Sade sometimes whispered, "Perhaps she has hidden sins we do not know." Amina prayed and wept, asking God, "Why this suffering? Have I not given all I can?" Everyone saw things differently. Everyone blamed Amina. People whispered about, leaving her very worried and questioning God always. But Mama Nkechi, her spiritual guide, saw shadows invisible to others. "Something unseen fights against you. You are not cursed, Amina," she would always say. "Someone close has broken what God intended." In all of these, night after night, Amina's dream became vivid. She would dream of shadows holding her womb in chains, flames consuming her home, whispers in strange voices calling her name. Objects began shifting mysteriously. Books fell off shelves. Windows opened and slammed shut alone. Even Jabu, the boy she once helped, dreamt and told her of shadows moving towards her, warning her that danger was closer than she realized. Zola, Amina's best friend, was always by her side, reassuring her and praying with her through every difficulty. Yes, Evelyn, Kofi's sister, grew suspicious. No woman is this unlucky. Perhaps all Amina brings to your life, Kofi, is misfortune. One of Kofi's aunts, Mama Lila, spread gossip, turning even neighbors against Amina. Efe, a rival cousin of Amina, unknowingly fueled envy by praising Amina's best friend, Zola's perfection. Amina felt isolated, abandoned, and misunderstood. Even Kofi, frustrated by the continual misfortune, began doubting the very woman he once loved unconditionally. Meanwhile, Pastor Tae, who was now a pastor, a stranger Amina once helped, would always tell her, "Someone is behind this, Amina. What you suffer is not ordinary. Someone has bound you in darkness. Your faith is your weapon. Amina, you must pray harder." Amina would always pray and ask God to show her the way out. Sure, Amina prayed to the God who hears and answers prayers. One fateful evening, Amina received the answers to her prayers. She went visiting with Kofi. She went visiting her best friend Zola. They knocked at the door, but Zola didn't answer. Knowing fully well that her friend would be home, Amina barged in with her husband. But what they found was something too heavy for their mouth to tell. What could Zola be doing with Amina's wedding veil on her head? What were those items on the table? A small shrine with candles, charms, a box containing Amina's wedding veil, and baby's clothes tied in knots. Confronting Zola, Amina asked, "Zola, what are you doing with all these things?" Zola revealed her envy and bitterness. She had schemed to destroy Amina's joy, her marriage, her life. Her flawless marks shattered, exposing the true tragedy beneath. Amina was shocked, confused, and heartbroken, questioning Zola. "What did I ever do to you? So you were the one behind my misfortunes?" Zola said, Everything that you own were to be mine. Every suitor you always had the best while we grew up. Why was it always you? Why would they always choose you? Amina discovered that this had long been on Zola's mind. It didn't start today. It started when they were very small. As kids growing up, Zola nursed the seeds of jealousy which turned to something else. For Zola, this was just the beginning. Amina was heartbroken. She went pale. No shoulder to lean on because even her husband blamed her because her best friend was the cause of her misfortune. How could she have trusted her worst enemy? In all of this, Pastor Taye was always there for Amina. Slowly but surely, Amina regained her spiritual stability. She began to pray. Pastor Taye guided Amina and Kofi through 21 days of fasting and prayers. Mama Nkechi, Uncle Biko, Aunt Ama, and even skeptical Evelyn joined at times. During this night, Amina dreamt of battles in dark valleys. Chains broke from her womb. Angels surrounded her as shadows flee. Each night, visions grew brighter. Objects once moved by unseen hands now lay still. The air in her home became lighter, warmer, filled with peace that she had not felt in years. It was never an easy journey to walk through. First of all, she had to forgive Zola, as Pastor Taye would say. You have to forgive Zola in order to gain total freedom. Amina tried as much as she could. She forgave Zola, prayed harder, believing that God was going to restore all that she had lost. Everything began to fall in place for Amina. Her beloved husband loved her unconditionally. Finally, he realized that Amina was not a carrier of misfortune. She was just a victim of circumstances. Her best friend, who never wanted her peace, was the cause of all of this. Everything was getting smoother. On Zola's path, her name was tied to betrayal in the village. Everyone was scared of Zola. Who would love to have a friend like Zola who could betray, who was envious? Everything about Zola became associated with betrayal and hatred. To make her joy complete, just 2 months later, Amina conceived. She prayed like never before that she was going to carry this child. When she first told her husband that she was pregnant, Kofi was overwhelmed with joy. Just a few days after she told her husband about her pregnancy, things began going south again, but this time, Amina took things head-on with prayers. She prayed like never before, and slowly but surely, things balanced back to normal. They were not the richest, but for sure, Amina was a supportive partner who supported her husband through thick and thin. Zola didn't end her evil deeds when she was discovered. She would always try physically, spiritually to destroy Amina. Envy, hatred, and jealousy had consumed Zola to an extent that even when she wanted to turn back, she couldn't. After a very long time of trying, Zola saw that it wasn't working anymore. She became weak. She regretted her actions, asked for forgiveness from Amina, and Amina forgave her. This was a wonderful reunion. Amina carried her baby to full term, gave birth to her bundle of joy, and her story was a beacon of hope, a testament to the power of prayer, patience, and unwavering faith. And as she held her child in her arms, surrounded by family, friends, and blessings, she whispered quietly, "No darkness can withstand the light of faith, the light of prayer, because every prayer surely got an answer."